So, do you think it's possible that narcissism could actually be a good thing? Could it actually work for you? I'm going to contemplate those questions and come up with what I think are some good answers by the end of this video. So, check it out. Hi, I'm Rebecca Zung. I've been recognized as one of the top 1% of attorneys in the country. I've written a couple of best-selling books, Negotiate Like You Matter and Breaking Free, a Step-by-Step Divorce Guide. And what I do is I am a narcissist negotiation expert. I help people negotiate with narcissists in a business setting, a divorce setting, a family law setting, whatever setting you are dealing with, negotiating with a narcissist. I help you get out of those relationships with your dignity intact and with a fair resolution. If that sounds good to you, make sure that you subscribe and hit that notification bell, and that way you'll get notified when I upload new videos. Okay, so I was having this conversation with a friend of mine the other day, and we were like, that my friend was like, I think it's good to be a narcissist. Like you always get your way. And I was like, you know what? That's a good question. Is it good to be a narcissist? So, first of all, I want to just kind of like peel back the layers on what actually is a narcissist. So, a narcissist is not just a person who says nice things about themselves. It's okay to say nice things about yourself. There's a big distinction between self-love, feeling good about yourself, being proud of your accomplishments, and being a narcissist. A narcissist has no inner sense of value. They have a very fragile self inside. And so they derive all of their value from the external in the form of narcissistic supply. If you want to know more about narcissistic supply, check out my video on that topic. But they need like an endless amount of either adulation and compliments and prestige and money and all that stuff, or they get it also from what I call the dark underbelly of narcissistic supply, which is degrading people, debasing people, treating people poorly, exerting control over them, trying to make them feel bad, sucking all the life out of them, being an energy vampire, lining up flying monkeys, gaslighting, all of those things that narcissists do because they're trying to feel like they have some value. And it's like a black hole. And really at their core, they're not very happy people, okay? But in some ways, they're also great at bragging and telling everybody about their, accomplishments. But here's the thing. Narcissists have no sense of care, empathy, or compassion for people. So that's really the key that people often forget. Like, they'll hear people talking and they'll think, oh, that person's a narcissist. But the truth of the matter is, you really can't know unless you know how they actually interact with people that they are close to. How do they treat them? So and I look at the whole thing is really a continuum, because all people want to feel seen, heard, and know that they matter. All people, if you're a person on the planet, you want to feel like you have value, like that you matter in this world. That's part of being a human being. So that doesn't make you a narcissist. And I look at it as a continuum. There's like normal, healthy amount of feeling good about yourself and having a sense of self-worth and self-love and self-esteem and all of those things. But you also care deeply for others, and you're worried about how other people feel, and you're self-aware of how your words or actions are impacting others around you, and you're okay with apologizing if you were wrong. You're okay with all of that. That's like normal. But then you kind of start going down the continuum, and then there's certain people who have some of that, and then or maybe they don't have a great sense of self, but they still care about others. But it's when you get to the pathological end where they would really show up on the spectrum of the DSM-5, where if a psychiatrist or a psychologist actually sat down and did some sort of a diagnosis on this person, that they would have like these extreme characteristics. And if you want to know about the seven characteristics, check out my video on the narcissist 7 deadly sins. I go into each one of the characteristics much more in depth. That's where it really starts to become, okay, this person is definitely a narcissist. And they do seem to get kind of far because they don't care how other people feel. So they have no problem stepping on people. Oftentimes they have no boundaries. So they have no problem just moving in on people's boundaries. They're shameless. Those of us who are like, oh my God, I would never do that. I would never do this to this person. I would never act like that. I find myself saying that a lot sometimes. But narcissists are totally shameless. They have no boundaries. They have no problem stepping on people. They have no problem boasting or even lying about things. They don't have a conscience a lot of times. So yeah, that's going to get you farther than the person who has some self-check going on, like who's a person who's not going to do that. But they are also their own worst enemy. They also do things that eventually they get caught. Eventually they lie so many times that they get caught. And that's what I teach you how to do, all that I teach you as far as negotiating, because once they start lying and once there's all these inconsistencies, if you can put them together in a summary and you start lining them up and you have your supporting documentation, that becomes great leverage for you. Okay. And if you want to know more about that, check out my video on creating leverage against narcissists. That becomes really great leverage. They also become their own undoing. They start making lots of mistakes. And check out my video on the undoing, where I do the show breakdown that Hugh Grant was in on the undoing of a narcissist, because that will give you way more information on how they become their own undoing. They actually start making mistakes. And here's the biggest reason why it's not good to be a narcissist, because they're miserable inside. They live these double lives. They hate themselves. They hate the world. They hate everybody in it. I mean, it's a horrible existence. And they're constantly depressed. I mean, some of them will admit to it. Some of them won't. They kind of feel like they're frauds all the time. I mean, they can't ever really genuinely be happy. And they're afraid they're going to be exposed at every minute of the day. They're afraid that the world is against them. They're constantly feeling they have to manipulate everything. And the worst part about being a narcissist is they can't truly love. And they really can't absorb being loved either. Because if you try to love a narcissist, they will punish you for it. But I do have a video on whether a narcissist can truly love, and you can check that out if you want as well. So I would say being a narcissist can be a good thing to a certain extent, but definitely not worth it. You can get really, really far in life without having to be a narcissist in order to do it. Okay. So if you are getting ready to negotiate with a narcissist, check out my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet. You can get it at winmynegotiation.com. And if you want more support, come join me in my free private Facebook group. You can definitely do that too. And if you are so ready to break free from that narcissist, give me a break free in the comments below. Just write break free. And if you like this video, give it a like, give it a share, drop me a comment, and make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell. I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm so glad you stopped by my channel, and I will see you in the next video.